My office. I spent a lot of time here. More than I did at home, I guess. My first case, an adolescent homicide. Sometimes it's easier to use the official wording than to say outright someone killed a kid and left their body on a roof. I spent so many hours in that chair trying to figure it out. How I found out I put the wrong man in prison. The DNA didn't match, but that didn't matter. He's already behind bars, and our justice system is not about to make itself look bad. My superiors look at me with disappointment. They know what I did, and that there's nothing that can be done. What the hell? Who did this? My office, all my things, my papers, my files. Years of my life are in here. All my cases, everything I ever worked on, all scattered and messed up. Who would do this? And why? So many pieces. Sometimes it's only when you step back and take a look at the whole tableau that you can make sense of where each individual fragment belongs, what it all means. But you, I could never make sense of you. And now this? How dare you? Truth be told, seeing the wrong man behind bars really made me question my ability. I put what I found into evidence and finalized a man's life. I should have checked it, but instead I was in a rush. I was fooled. Nothing here either except animal bones. Again. I remember finding it a little odd that I never once caught sight of a deer or anything that they could have come from. Strange. I thought, given how disturbed the topsoil was, I might be onto something. Unfortunately, another dead end. The strangest thing happened one morning while I was digging. I started to feel something watching me. I'm not crazy, but we've all had those moments. This felt too real. I haven't seen any animals in the woods. What could be out there? I kept digging, but that feeling lingered. I stood up, looked around, but I couldn't see anything. I should have left, gone home for the day, and never come back. I was too focused on solving the case. After a while, the feeling went away, and I got on with my digging. Didn't that scare me? Guess not. I just kept going. I was kind of starting to freak out by this point. I needed to solve this case. Thinking back, it was stupid of me to think I would find the answers so quickly. I was rushing again. If I wasn't careful, I could lose my job, put another person away that doesn't deserve it. But they had to be out here somewhere, and if I wasn't finding them, where else could they be? How could you do this? Where did you hide them? Please give us peace. Ironic, for someone so used to discovering and excavating lost bodies, that I'd become one myself. For all the years I spent unearthing bodies, it seems unfair somehow that mine ended up like this. Just laid out in the open, broken and discarded. Maybe I deserved this. I was fooled by the beauty of these woods. I only hope that you can find the answers you need, that everything that happened was not in vain. Push forwards, but prepare yourself. You stand on the verge of a terrible darkness.
You're here, finally. Let me tell you a story. You'll like this one. It's about you. Now, I wouldn't call you the hero, but everything in it revolves around you and what you did. You don't remember anything, do you? Of course not. You're a coward. I'd say you disgust me, but, well, it's a little more complicated than that. Come on, through the door. You're so close now. Don't you want to know how all this ends? The old lab. So cramped working cheek by jowl with those fools on their useless, stupid little trivialities. Nothing more than distractions. They dismissed my ideas as wrong, then begged my help for their own work. If only they could have seen what I was working on behind their backs. I knew I had to get out before they found out what my little side project was. They wouldn't have understood. They couldn't. I was so very far beyond them. Isolation. Space to breathe, to think, to work. No more dingy little space hidden away from prying eyes. Out here, I am free. It also neatly solves the problem of disposal. When I'm finished with any biological material, human or animal, I simply seal it in a bath of acid and drop it to the bottom of the lake. What I wouldn't give for an incinerator. Still, there are always trade-offs, and I must make do with what I have. A small price to pay. Sacrifice. I'd often ask myself if what I was doing was right, was just. Progress demanded sacrifice. Imagine the potential. Cures for cancers, for wasting diseases and childhood afflictions. If I could rid the world of these things, nobody would care about how I did it. I'd be a hero, forever immortalized as one of the true scientific greats. It worked. The experiment. It worked. A breakthrough I could never have dreamed of back under the watchful eye of those fools. I had my doubts back in my old lab, but out here, I felt anything was possible. And I could do absolutely anything. I didn't have the evidence yet to support my findings. I needed to replicate the experiments. Go further, be bolder. I had no choice, did I? I took another. A man camping with his wife. I needed him. If I hadn't taken him, they might have stumbled on my lab. It's too valuable. I can't stop now. That's what I told myself as I beat the wife to death with a rock. She tried to stop me from taking her husband. Sacrifices had to be made. But I lay awake at night. I couldn't get her face out of my head. The old man had to die. While he'd been staying in his cabin, he went to the police. I decided to see what effects the grafts would have in terms of aggression and capacity for violence in the subject. Nothing could have prepared me for this. I just want to be left alone. Why do they keep coming? I couldn't let her find out what happened. She didn't deserve this, though. I can't stop it. Can't control it. What have I done? How could I be so wrong? Last night I had a nightmare. I was in the woods, everything familiar, walking through the trees. He was there, the old man from the cabin. He spoke to me like a friend. Every night now, the same dream, the same path, the same voice. I can't sleep. When I do, I awaken among the trees. She is in them too. Now, the woman, the digger, she's not my friend. She screams at me, but I can't wake up for hours. She knows everything I know. She knows what I did.
When we last spoke, I told you to learn your story, to find answers, to find those stories I couldn't finish.
You wronged us, both of us, in the worst ways imaginable.
But what's done is done. You can't change that. Nobody can. There's no sense in going back and reliving it over and over. The outcome is always the same.
I made a life digging up the past, but now it's time to put it to rest.
You understand now. We couldn't just tell you. We had to let you see.
And now you know what we know. You feel what we feel.
We couldn't rest until we moved on from this. And neither can you.
Over and over again you've lived this, seen this, Again and again. You're cursed, can't you see it? The weight of the guilt drags you down and sets you back on that path endlessly. There's only one way this ends, but for us, it already has.
What you did was awful, but you know that now. You feel the truth burning inside you. An animal you must set free.
Acknowledge what you did. End the cycle. Move on. And know peace.
We forgive you.